The next component of the budget is the capital expenditure budget, as we have discussed earlier. So, what goes in the how do we do it? We prepare normally a comprehensive list from all the departments. What do they want to spend based on their operational needs, based on their requirements, based on their initiatives, new innovative ideas, research and development, what they want to really spend. And then we sort them in priorities. So the priorities for every business can be difficult, can be different, but there can be three things, right? When one is critical, has to be done now in order to survive in the business. The second thing is better to do it. It's not a survival threat, but it's a major value enhancer. It will increase the value of the business, right? And then there are nice to do things. These are the things which are not really going to give us a very high return on investment, but they are just nice to have. They are luxury items. We may, for example, if if our car is broken for employee ferry, we need a ferry, right? So it means if it's broken down already, then it is a critical item. If it's not broken down, but it requires a lot of repairs and maintenance, then it's better to do, because we will save the because we will save the recurring repair and maintenance expense, and it will give us an ROI, but it requires capital now. That's a better to do. Nice to do is maybe our car is working fine, no problem at all. It's a but it's a Toyota car. Now we want to change it to a Mercedes. So that's nice to do. It may increase the employee morale for sure, but this is a luxury item. It's not required to do because there is no reason to do it, right? So that's the difference between the three: critical, better to do, and nice to do. So we need to really sort them out, and then based on the capital allocation available, we can choose the critical ones first. Better to do would be the next priority. So even if we don't have the capital, we still need to do the one which is critical, right? So it means we know, uh, do we need to really raise the capital, and how we are going to do that. So based on this, we estimate the capital requirements, choose the better to do item, focus based on the estimated ROI and impact on the future business. And if the capital limited, then we obviously remove the nice to have. If the capital is not available, then we need to raise the capital for critical items. So normally we know by when we have to purchase them, what is the amount of money we are going to have, we will be left with after doing our operational budget, and do we really need to raise the capital for any of the expansion, any of the acquisition, any of the capital expenditure that we think we need. So it in this usually the capital expenditure is by accounting definition is any spending which has a useful life of more than a year. So that's the definition, or major definition of capital expenditure. So is any expenses which has a useful life of more than a year, or it's increase the life of it maybe it's a overhauling expenses, increase the life of the existing assets by more than a period, by more than a year. That's an accounting definition, but not everything can be do the capitalization. So every company normally have a policy on capital expenditure, and usually it's based on the certain amount. So there's a limit on it, right? So it can be uh, any uh, any spending beyond a certain limit, beyond certain amount, that would be considered as a capital expenditure budget. So let's say for example you set a budget that um, anything we buy above $100, if it has a value of more than 1 year, we will capitalize it. We will put into capital expenditure. Or if any for capital expenditure purposes, anything above $1,000 would be considered as a capital expenditure budget, no matter what is the accounting definition. If there is anything less than $1,000, we can buy from our normal processes. But we just if it's required to capitalize in the accounting definitions, we can capitalize it. Otherwise, we can charge to expenses. So it could be maintenance or expansion, a new product, or anything else. It may require external financing sometimes, because if the budget is limited, there's no money to even spend on the critical items. We may need to raise the capital. So this exercise is going to tell us whether we have to raise some capital in the future or not.